So you see the market is getting really, really tough right now. And no matter how tough it is, sometimes you want to save a little bit of money. And some people, what they want to do is try to sell their house themselves. Well, there are a lot of naysayers that say you can't sell your house yourself. When it's all said and done, you need a realtor. Well, I'm going to tell you something today. You can sell your house yourself, and I'm going to go over the steps you need in today's video. So stick around and learn everything you need to sell your house yourself. If we haven't met before, my name is Eric Hudson. I'm a real estate agent here in the greater Las Vegas area. And I want to put this in here because every once in a while people wonder if they can reach out to me, and yes, you can. You can call, text, or email me, or better yet, there's a calendar link below. Get on my calendar and we can talk about any real estate needs that you have. So you want to go ahead and sell your house. The market is starting to cool and you wonder if you can sell the house yourself. Yes, you can. The reason most sellers end up with a real estate agent is they don't follow the proper steps, or they let their hatred for real estate agents overwhelm them. So let's go over the things that you can do to get your house sold. So number one is knowing the market. You have to take all the emotions out of it. You have to act like a third party. The price you want for your house, the condition of your house, you have to stop the thing that is preventing most people from selling their house. They want too much. They start going like, well, I need $500,000 out of this sale in order to move on. That's one of the reasons I'm not selling through Realtor, is so I can save that money. Well, I have to give you some bad news. People will not pay you what you need to move on. They will pay you what the market is. In a down market, a sideways market, or an up market. Even with the market we had just a few months ago where people were paying $50,000 and $60,000 over, for some odd reason, houses that sat on the market were the ones where they overpriced it. Now you have a double edge that is against you. You now have your house that is not sitting in the MLS where the majority of buyers are at, to cause the competition to where you can get that kind of money, if we still could. You are also at the disadvantage that you've put your house into systems where the majority of people who are looking for a bargain. That's why houses that are sold by their owners sell for an average of less than what they sell with a realtor. Now, every time I hear a seller say, well, that's not going to be me, for the most part, unless you have something that's extremely special, it's going to be you. Next thing you have to look at, access. How do they get in? Are you going to be there? Are you going to let them in? One of the things you need to do is go ahead and get a lockbox. You can get them off of Amazon. Now, you could have an issue if they're not bringing a realtor with them, and you may have to meet them, especially someone who calls you out of the blue from one of these I'll sell my home myself websites, because you don't exactly want to give them your information, do you? Or at least the combination to a lockbox. As much as you can, you do not want to be there. And even if you are there, stand by and be a fly on the wall. The biggest problem that owners have, it doesn't matter whether you're selling your house through a realtor or selling it yourself, is every seller wants to tell the unique story of your house. Here's the issue. They don't want to hear your story. They don't want to hear about the paint that you imported from Italy that looks like marble. They will stand there, they will nod their heads, they will walk out, and they're going to go to the next house. In the current market, you do not want that to happen. So even if you have to let people in, stand on the side. Let them look at the house, thank them. The best you can do is, if you have a great flyer for the house, give them the flyer, step aside. The next thing you have to look at still goes with access. What hours can they see it? People want to see things in their own time. If they can only see it when you get off from work at 4 p.m., you may have an issue. Less traffic you have, the less money you are going to get. You need to make sure that if you have a trusted friend or someone who can show the house for you, or at least open the door and make sure they don't make off with your medication in the bathroom or your guns under the bed or something, you need to have someone who's only going to be observing just to make sure they're not walking out with your AR-15 or something like that. Other than that, leave them alone, but make sure there is plenty of access. Next thing is the condition of your house. Well, most people are trying to sell without an agent because they're looking to get more money, right? Well, in today's market, where only the cheapest and the prettiest are selling, you want to make sure your house is pretty. One of the best things I can advise you to do is spend the $200 for a cleaning service. The most I've seen one charge is $350, and they'll spend the entire day making that house spick and span. And when you're done, take professional photos. Do not grab your iPhone and start taking pictures. The professionals know what angles that people are looking for right now and everything else. They know the little tricks, like some people don't think about this. Put down the toilet seat. This curtain needs to be closed. This curtain needs to be open. Don't have your ceiling fans on. So I highly suggest, if you're going to sell your home yourself and you're going to get the most amount of money, hire a professional photographer. If you need a list of professional photographers, I'll gladly give it to you. Just email me. It's no big deal. Next thing you can do to get your house sold yourself, do that pre-inspection. Many of the home inspectors in this market will do a pre-inspection for you. Just costs a few $100s. And when you present that inspection report, it's going to make the buyer feel so good. And most importantly, if you take that inspection report and all of the major items you get taken care of, that makes them feel even better and gets you more money. So go ahead and take care of that. If you need a list of inspectors, just email me. I'll give you a list of inspectors that will do that pre-inspection. I know you're trying to save the most amount of money possible. Sometimes you actually are working against yourself. There's a self-help guru called Brian Tracy. He used to use this phrase. He called it poverty mentality. Do not have a poverty mentality. If you're going to sell your house yourself, you have to invest. You're trying to make more money, you have to invest, which means all of the stuff I talked about: professional photography, having the house professionally cleaned, finding out what the current values are. One thing I advocate: don't waste folks' time to pretend that you're going to try to sell your house. I've seen this before. So you can find out how much you can get for your house. Go to Zillow. I'm being serious. And that's another one. Where are you going to post the fact that you're trying to sell your house? Yep, you can post it on Zillow. You can go all these other sites. Again, information's below there. I actually have an entire handbook down here that I'm going to give you. See? You get it for free. You don't even have to leave your information. That's how much I believe in it. You can do it yourself. Just go get the handbook, go through it, and you'll get your house sold. The next thing, you are going to get inundated with real estate agents. As soon as they see it on Zillow, any of those other sites, you're going to get about 100 calls. Make sure you're letting the right folks in. So here's the script that's going to be used. Well, I can possibly bring a buyer to you. Then they'll start with like, are you paying co-op? And you'll go like, well, your buyer needs to do that. No. Hasn't happened before, and it's definitely not going to happen in this market. Be prepared for the amount of co-op you're going to pay. And you may have to pay what's considered a full co-op. And you know why? A lot of these guys know that you are not going to be able to complete everything yourself. And they know they're going to have to take it on if they truly bring you a buyer. Also, if they say they have to preview your home for someone, or they can't find, they don't know if they have a buyer for you unless they preview your home, that's just to get in so they can have a listing appointment. You know that, I know that, but be very careful. If they really are trying to bring a buyer, don't say that they are lying and they're not trying to bring a buyer and they just want to get in for a listing appointment. I literally actually called for a buyer one time who wanted to see a for sale by owner, and the guy was like, "You don't have a buyer." I'm like, "Dude, I have a buyer." It's like, "Nope, nope, you don't. All of you real estate agents are lying." Yeah, some of them are. If they don't show up to the door with the buyer, there's a doorknob. Close the door. It's that simple. You can tell them on the phone when they call you. If you don't show up with your buyer, there are no previews unless you have a bona fide buyer. And in other words, bring something like because a lot of people are buying houses virtually now. Unless you bring a pre-approval or something to prove that you have a buyer, don't do it. Next one, when you run across these buyers who are not represented, first thing you need to do is make sure that they are vetted by having a pre-approval. None of this, oh, I'm going to get it later. Pre-approval letter in hand, or don't even deal with them. Finally, if you're going to sell it yourself, these for sale by owner books, I'm going to tell you what you really need to do. Okay, I'm about to get myself in trouble here. There are not kits that you got to go buy, but some of the organizations in town, I'm not going to say what, are prepared for you, and it does not cost you anything above your normal closing costs. You just email me and say, what do I have to do to close on the home if I sell it myself? I will send you those resources. So, hope I've given you a little bit of value today. And if you're trying to sell your house yourself, great. If you want a little bit of advice, I'll give you a little bit of advice. I got some more stuff for you. You can just ask about it, no big deal. And for those of you who are looking to sell, buy, invest in real estate, you can always contact me. My information is in the info tab. Also, down below there's a calendar link. You can get 15 minutes on my calendar. And if you have gotten to this point and you have seen a little bit of value from what I've provided today, hit that subscribe button. If it's still red, do me that one little favor.